Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is waking up with fire in their soul. They're not smarter than you. They're not more talented, but they'll outpace you, outgrow you, and outperform you simply because of what they do every single day. We've been sold the lie that success is about luck or timing, but the truth, the top 1%, they've built daily rituals that make excellence inevitable. While most people react to life, they design it. While most people chase motivation, they install discipline. And today I'm going to show you exactly what they do so you can join them. But listen closely, because this isn't theory. This is the real stuff, the habits, the mindset, the decisions that separate the average from the unstoppable. And by the end of this talk, you'll know how to upgrade your day and your destiny. Let me tell you something that will change your life if you truly get it. Success isn't something you stumble into. It's not something that just happens to you one day when the stars align. It's built brick by brick, habit by habit, day by day. And it starts not with the deals you close, not with the people you meet, not even with the goals you write down, but with your morning. How you start your day is how you shape your life. The top 1% don't wake up and scroll through social media. They don't roll out of bed with a groan, already behind, already in reaction mode. They own the morning. They create it with intention, with purpose, with a plan. Most people wake up and immediately give their attention to the world. Emails, texts, notifications, all the noise screaming for their time. But the elite, the truly successful, they claim that first hour for themselves, and it's not selfish. It's strategic. Because when you win the first hour, you take command of the entire day. I'm not just talking about waking up early. That's part of it, sure. But it's about waking up with clarity. You don't rise at 5 a.m. just to be tired. You rise to be ready. That's the mindset. It's the moment you tell your nervous system, I'm not here to survive the day. I'm here to lead it. Now, what do the top 1% do with those first sacred moments? They prime their body and their mind. They don't wait to feel good. They generate it. They move. They hydrate. They stretch. They breathe. They put themselves in a peak state. You see, emotion is created by motion. You can't feel tired, lazy, or fearful while you're jumping, breathing deeply, pushing your body into power. The body leads and the mind follows. Then comes focus. You don't leave the quality of your thoughts to chance. You decide, what am I going to focus on today? What matters most? Where's my target? The top 1% don't run around trying to do 1,000 things. They ask, what's the one move I can make today that moves the needle? What's the one decision that if I make it with courage will shift everything? That's precision, that's power, and there's something else. Gratitude, not as a fluffy idea, not as a checkbox, but as a discipline. Because when you train your mind to seek what's good, you rewire your entire nervous system. The world doesn't change, but how you see it does. And when you see abundance, when you feel appreciation, you show up different. You don't beg for opportunities, you attract them. Energy is contagious, and when you live in a state of gratitude and vision, people feel it even before you speak a word. Let's get real. Life will punch you. The day will throw curveballs. But if you've already conditioned your body, your mind, and your emotional state before 8 a.m., you're unshakable. You've built armor. The stress hits and it bounces off. The uncertainty shows up and you respond, not with panic, but with clarity, certainty, and strength. That's not an accident. That's training. And let me be clear, this isn't about being perfect. Some mornings are messy. Some days you'll feel off. That's human. But if your default mode is discipline, if your baseline is power, you'll recover faster, you'll stay in the game longer, and that's what separates winners from warriors. So ask yourself, what are you doing with your first hour? Are you reacting or are you creating? Are you setting the tone or letting the world set it for you? Because every day is a vote for the kind of life you want to live. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to change your morning. And then let your morning change you. You want to join the top 1%? Start by showing up like one, because the way you greet the day determines how the world will greet you. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly grew? I'm not talking about doing more. I'm not talking about being busy. I'm talking about evolving, about expanding your capacity, upgrading your thinking, stretching beyond who you were yesterday, because that is the difference between those who coast through life and those who break through it. See, the top 1%, they are obsessed with growth. Not casual, not convenient, obsessed. For them, growth isn't a phase. It's not something they do only when things are good. It's a way of life. It's their identity, because they understand something most people ignore. If you're not growing, you're dying. There is no neutral in life. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. And the people who are living at the highest level, they've made it non-negotiable to grow every single day, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Now, here's what's interesting. Most people think growth is about reading a book every now and then or going to a seminar once a year. But the truth is, growth starts with a decision to never stop becoming, a decision to wake up and ask, how do I become more today than I was yesterday? What am I willing to let go of to become who I'm meant to be? You see, the top performers, they have rituals built around learning. They don't just consume the information, they hunt for it, they study success, they ask better questions, they seek out mentors, they immerse themselves in environments that force them to level up. They spend time with people who challenge them, not coddle them, because they know comfort kills progress. Growth lives just outside your comfort zone. And here's the secret most people don't want to hear. Growth isn't always sexy. Sometimes it's hard, it's uncomfortable. It requires you to look in the mirror and admit, what got me here won't get me there. That takes humility, that takes hunger. And that's exactly what the elite bring to the table every day. You know why? They grow. Because they link growth to purpose. They understand that if they want to serve more, lead more, give more, be more, they have to become more. They don't settle for repeating the same year 40 times and calling it a life. They stretch, they reinvent, they evolve again and again and again. And here's the kicker. Growth doesn't wait for the perfect moment. The top 1% don't say, I'll grow when I have more time. I'll grow when things slow down. I'll grow when I feel ready. No, they create the time. They schedule it. They make it part of who they are, because they know life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. And the only way to do that is through daily, deliberate growth. And don't make the mistake of thinking growth is just about gaining more knowledge. No, knowledge is only potential power. Real growth shows up in how you think, how you respond, how you live. It's not about learning more, it's about becoming more. It's about shifting your beliefs, breaking your patterns, elevating your standards every day. The top 1% ask themselves, how can I grow through this? What lesson is life trying to teach me right now? How can I turn this challenge into fuel? That mindset alone, that commitment to constant and never-ending improvement is what sets them apart. They don't avoid failure, they embrace it. Because failure is feedback, and feedback is the path to mastery. So if you want to be among the best, stop chasing outcomes, start chasing growth. The money will follow, the recognition will follow. But if you grow just to get, you'll always feel empty. But if you grow to give, to lead, to serve, to live fully, then your life becomes unstoppable. Every single day is a classroom. The question is, are you showing up as the student, or are you sleeping through the lesson? Because the top 1%, they never stop learning, they never stop evolving, and that's why they never stop winning. Let's get one thing straight. Focus is power in a world that is screaming for your attention every second of the day. The people at the top, the 1%, they know that focus isn't just a tool, it's a weapon. They treat it like gold. They guard it like their life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. See, most people don't lose because they're not smart enough or talented enough. They lose because they're distracted. They're pulled in every direction, reacting to everything and creating nothing. They wake up with intention, maybe even write down some goals, but by noon, they're answering texts, jumping from tab to tab, buried in emails, chasing problems that don't even belong to them. That's not a life, that's a pinball machine. But the top 1%, they play a different game. They own their focus, they protect it, and more than that, they build their life around it. Because they understand what you focus on consistently, you feel. What you focus on expands, and over time, what you focus on becomes your reality. You'll have to understand something. Clarity equals speed. The more clear you are about what matters, the faster you can move. But clarity requires discipline. It requires the courage to say no, not just to distractions, but to good opportunities that don't align with your mission. That's where most people break down. They want to do it all, they want to please everyone. But the best, they narrow their target, they lock in. They say, that's the bullseye, and I'm not moving until I hit it. And they don't wait for focus to show up. They design it. They set boundaries. They time block. They shut off notifications. They structure their environment so that distractions don't stand a chance. It's not about having superhuman willpower. It's about creating systems that make the right choice automatic. Let me tell you, the world will try to steal your focus every single day. And it won't always come with a warning sign. Sometimes it shows up as a friend who wants to catch up, or a crisis that isn't really yours to solve. Sometimes it's a project that seems exciting, but deep down you know it's a detour. The top 1% are ruthless in those moments. Not heartless, but ruthless. Because they know that every yes is also a no to something else. And when your vision is big enough, you stop chasing distractions and start protecting your mission. They also know how to recover focus fast. They don't spiral when they get off track. They recalibrate. They breathe. They ask, what's the outcome I want? What's the result after right now? They get back in the driver's seat fast. Because momentum is everything. And when you lose focus, you lose momentum. But when you build it, when you stay locked in for hours, for days, for weeks, that's when you start breaking through. And let's not forget, focus isn't just about productivity, it's about presence. The top 1% don't just focus when they're working, they focus when they're with people they love. They're not at dinner thinking about the next deal. They're not with their kids while checking their phone. They're there fully because they know that real power isn't scattered, it's centered. Look, we live in the age of noise. You're not going to succeed by doing more. You're going to succeed by doing less, but doing it with intensity, with clarity, with obsession. That's the edge. That's the multiplier. And once, as you feel that level of focus, when the noise fades and it's just you and the mission, nothing else compares. That's when you become unstoppable. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. What are you giving your energy to? What are you trading your attention for? And is it worth it? Because the top 1%, they don't just manage their time, they master their focus. Let me tell you something that most people never figure out until it's too late. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. You can have the money, the accolades, the lifestyle, but if you're not grounded in meaning, in gratitude, in vision, you'll wake up one day wondering why you still feel empty. The top 1%, the people who perform at the highest level and still feel alive doing it, they've figured this out. They don't just grind, they don't just execute. They take time every single day to connect with something deeper. They train their minds to live in gratitude and operate from vision. And this isn't fluff. This isn't some motivational poster on the wall. This is strategy. This is emotional conditioning because they understand if you want to lead your life, you have to lead your mind. And if you want to lead your mind, you have to own what it focuses on. Gratitude is the foundation. It's not a mood. It's not something you practice only when life feels good. It's a discipline. It's a muscle. And when you build that muscle, when you train yourself to look for what's good, even when things aren't perfect, especially when things aren't perfect, You take back control. You become the master of your emotional state. You can't be angry and grateful at the same time. You can't be fearful and try it. You'll find it's impossible because gratitude forces your nervous system into a different frequency. It pulls you out of survival mode and into creation mode, and that's exactly where the top 1% live. They don't wait for something external to shift before they feel grateful. They create the feeling. They wake up and say, what's already amazing in my life? Not in some vague, casual way, but intentionally, fluidly, specifically. They stack it, they feel it, they breathe it in until their whole body is in a state of strength and appreciation. That's not just spiritual, that's tactical. Because when you live in a state of gratitude, your mind becomes a magnet for possibility. You see solutions faster, you connect with people deeper, you bounce back from setbacks quicker. You don't just survive the day, you elevate it. Now add vision to that. Big hope. Not wishful thinking, but clear, vivid, emotionally charged vision. And that's the fuel of the top 1%. They don't just see the life they want, they feel it every day. They rehearse it in their mind like it's already done. They see where they're going so clearly that it begins to pull them forward. They're not chasing success. They're being pulled by purpose. Vision is powerful because it creates alignment. When your vision is strong enough, decisions become easier. Distractions become irrelevant. Pain becomes fuel. Because now you're not moving from obligation. You're moving from inspiration. And that changes everything. The problem is most people wake up and drift. They're busy, but they're not driven. They work hard, but they're not connected to why it matters. But when you take time, just a few minutes a day, to connect to your vision, to rehearse your future with emotion and clarity, you start walking through life with a different level of certainty. You stop doubting yourself. You stop shrinking for other people. You start showing up like the person you're becoming, not the person you've been. The top 1% have made this a ritual. It's not optional. They prime their minds every single day. They wake up, they ground themselves in what they're grateful for, and then they lock in to where they're going. They live from that place. And that's why they can face the chaos, the stress, the setbacks, and still move forward with power. Because their inner world is already aligned. They've already won the day inside before the world even touches them. So here's the truth. If you want to change your life, start by changing what you focus on. Start every day with intention. Start with what's beautiful, with what's possible, and then build from that place. Because when you live with vision and lead with gratitude, you become unstoppable, not just in what you do, but in who you are.